for being here, and like so many of you, I think like most Americans, I am outraged by what we saw in Minnesota. We saw the murder of a good woman, Renee Good, and I actually went out to Minneapolis following that to hear from local activists, to hear from the Attorney General, to hear from local police about what was happening, and then to think that just over a week later, they would go out and execute in cold blood a VA nurse. I am so angry beyond my ability to communicate that. But I'm not surprised, because what has happened over the last year, this is inevitable. ICE is a cancer. It is a lawless and violent organization where the agents have been empowered to get away with anything, where they're told they have absolute immunity, and that rot, that lack of accountability starts at the top with Kristi Noem. It's why I called for her impeachment. I believe she needs to
abolish ICE.
This is a culture of lawlessness. ICE is a cancer, and it has to go.
Yeah.
It cannot be acceptable. Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, all these guys are following a well-worn playbook. What do? They ignore the violence perpetrated by their agents. When they're called on it with clear video evidence, what do? They lie about what happened. And they've done this over and over. If you hearken back to last June, here in Santa Ana, Narciso Barranco was filmed on tape being punched in the head repeatedly by ICE agents. And then when they called him out on it, rather than investigate the agents, DHS went out there and said, incredibly, that they were acting in self-defense, that he'd come after them, a claim they later withdrew because it was so clearly contradicted by the evidence. That was the same playbook they've used literally thousands of times, as we've seen thousands of well-documented incidents where ICE agents have gone out there and terrorized citizens. No, it is not legal to punch someone in the face because you disagree with them. You can't spray bear mace at people or pepper spray people or tackle people in the streets who are not resisting arrest. And yet we've seen that time and time again, and we've seen ICE go after these folks. This has to end. People need to be criminally prosecuted. So I am outraged, but I will tell you I am also inspired, because the example of Alex Pretti is one that is so inspiring to all of us. This was, by all accounts, a good and decent and loving man who spent his last moments trying to protect a woman. And true to form, the Trump administration did the same thing they did with every other person who's caught being killed or assaulted. They blamed the victim. They said he was brandishing a deadly weapon, that he was attacking ICE agents. And here's the thing. To the Trump administration, a camera, an iPhone, is a deadly weapon, because they're relying on fear and misinformation to try to rule this country. And that is why our cameras are so deadly to them, because they get the truth out there. So stay out there, take inspiration from the fact that we are out here, we're seeing real Americans, the real Americans, stand up right now and throw off these shackles of oppression. Thank you for being here. Thank you, our medical professionals, for all you do. An inspiring example of Alex Pretti.
Councilmember Jessie Lopez.
Hi everybody, good evening. I'm Councilwoman Jessie Lopez, representing the city of Santa Ana. And I just wanted to say, I think that in this moment, it is most important that we never forget that our fighting spirit is what's going to carry us. You know, we can never allow anyone to tell us that things cannot happen in this government. We cannot allow anyone to tell us that we cannot get rid of this organization that has a history of abusing children, that has a history of separating families, that has a history of killing too many of our community members. A history. This is not new. And so I just want to thank you all again for all the work that you've done in our communities. But we have to be unified in this moment. We have to protect each other in this moment. We should have a collective voice in this moment to demand and to respect and support the cause of our communities that have been experiencing this violence for many, many years. We cannot allow this to continue anymore. So I really just want to leave you with the call of action tonight. Thank you for being here. but make sure that you contact your representatives, that you demand that they no longer fund this organization, that they prioritize lives, the safety, real safety of our communities, and that they do more, because they can do more. Thank you.
State Senator Sarmiento, Orange County Supervisor for the 2nd District, and I want to thank you all for being here, because we know we want the people in Minneapolis to hear us and to feel us and to know that we stand in unity with them with the tough time that they're going through. That they're holding it down. But I want you to know, it's not just happening in Minneapolis, it's not just happening in Minnesota, it's happening here. My neighborhood where I grew up, just a few blocks from the county campus where I served, was the 2nd place where the National Guard was staged last summer. They were taking people from their homes, they were taking people from Home Depots, from car washes, from places, just domestic workers, simply trying to make a living. And I want to thank some people who are here, especially Sandra de Anda, she stood up the program and made sure that people felt protected and gave us a purpose. You know, what I've been seeing is, unfortunately, a lot of inaction versus action that we've seen from the youth and from others who've said, the law is not helping us. We have an agency in ICE that is rogue. It's not following any sort of rules, any sort of training. We need to say with one singular voice, we have to abolish that. We have to abolish ICE. You cannot reform a rogue agency that is not following the law. Why would you stand behind that? How un-American is that? To continue to support that. And there should be no indecision. There should be no silence. Because if you're silent, you're complicit. If you are silent, you're part of the problem. So we need to make sure that we all compel and support those brave voices, and voices that should be doing the right thing to defend us, to represent us, to protect us. They are no longer making us feel protected. These are agencies that are now tracking us. They are now making us feel unsafe. So I just want to say thank you, because we know this community has been the target of incredible pressure. We just did a survey and showed that there is 25% less consumer spending in here because people don't want to go to work. They don't want to go shop. They don't want to go spend their money. They don't want to go be in their community. They're hiding. They're not letting their kids go to school. So I know what people are living through now. They're looking to us as representatives to stand tall, to be strong, to not cower, to not hide. We have to make the strong decisions on their behalf and protect them. That is literally our role. So I want to thank you all, because, look, I want to give you just a short anecdote. My son is in his first year of medical school at UCSD. He was telling me that they sat down and they spoke with people after Alex's death, because they knew that he was one of them. And I was so proud of him. He's not a political kid. He takes after his mom. He's much smarter than me. But he told them in response, when the question was, how do you feel? He said, I feel bad because I know Alex. We know we have Alexes in our community. He said, but I wish you would have stood and made the same gathering for when 32 other people died in ICE custody last year.
Right.
That's the highest number of people to die in ICE custody in over 2 decades. So if we're not saying their names, if we're not speaking on their behalf, then we should not be holding office. So we need to make sure that we stand tall. We represent you, because you as healthcare workers, and I'm the incoming chair of Cal Optima, the county's public health plan. We protect and we give care to the low income, to the disabled, and to the elderly.
Thank
you for what you do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being Alex's voice. Thank you for being the voice of conscience here in Orange County. Thank you. Let's keep this going. Let's let them know in Minneapolis. We have allies here in Orange County. Thank you.
We invite to the front from Santa Ana our very own Congressman Lee Correa.
Buenas noches. Good evening. Good evening. Let's hear it. Good evening. I want you to thank you for being here today. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our finest moment. This is that moment in life that you never want to see confront you. But this is it. Minnesota, here, across the country, people are standing up, and we cannot back off because this is the fight for our country, for our democracy. Alex, 37-year-old nurse, taking care of veterans, taking care of our patriots. His father and mother describe him as a sweet guy who came to the aid of a woman who's getting punched around by an ICE agent. ICE agents.
What are you going to say about it?
He got shot 10 times. Miller reported to the White House.
Lies.
We shot a terrorist.
Lies.
Focused on causing great harm to our agents. You can't believe what you see on videos, so they make it up with AI. 1984 exactly right. We cannot back off, folks. Let me tell you, let me remind you, Homeland Security. Remember that department that was created to protect us against future terrorist attacks from foreign enemies? What happened along the way? President Trump said, I want to deport the criminals. The big, beautiful bill comes along, flush with cash to Homeland. And now they're on Americans. That machine is turning on us. It's turning on us.
When am I going to hear the word
Reaper
abolish
drones.
from him?
Remember those drones that were flying over Iraq, Afghanistan? They're flying over our country's cities, looking at events like this and labeling us terrorists. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our finest moment. 40 individuals died last year in ICE custody. This year, to date, 7 have died. We're talking American citizens. We're talking breaking into homes without a warrant. We're talking American citizens stopped in the street, showing their passports, and ICE saying, it doesn't matter, we're taking you in. This is our moment. We will not fund ICE again. My colleague and I have voted against funding ICE.
Finally.
We want transparency. We want those masked agents out of our communities.
Abolish ICE.
Accountable for crimes against Americans. Lock them up.
No one should be above the law.
Folks, we're Americans. We stand for democracy. We demand our constitutional and civil rights be respected. We want our constitutional rights respected. The Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment respected.
Abolish ICE.
Take the power back.
Take the power back. It is our power, not theirs. Finally, let me say, this is our finest moment. We cannot back off because our children depend on us to make sure our democracy in this country survives for their generation. Thank you very much.
Say abolish ICE. Say it.
I'm going to bring up our local safety chair for one.
Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it.
look a little bit different than my fellow elected officials up here. And Alex Pretti looked a little bit different from the people that he stood up for. And Renee Good looked a little bit different from the people that she stood up for. And they still stood up for them. And it's important that we stand up for them as well, because what we've learned is that none of us are safe unless all of us are safe.
Amen.
So as we are here tonight for Alex, we are here for the 47 people who have died in ICE custody, for the people who are in custody who shouldn't be, for the families who are being split apart. We are here for ourselves. We are here because we know that if we do not stand up for them, we will be next. So for all of you who are here tonight, standing up for those people, like Congressman Correa said, this is our finest hour. This is how we turn that tide. We will make a difference. We will stop this atrocious behavior. And we will once again see the beautiful America that we all believe in. So thank you for letting me be here tonight, and thank you for standing up.
You've been in service for so long. Will you give us a couple of minutes to introduce you?
Sandra for president.
¿Cómo estamos, Santana? Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra. I'm a longtime resident of Santana. I'm also a writer and poet, and I'm also the Director of Policy and Legal Strategy at the Orange County Rapid Response Network. I'm honored to be a featured speaker today alongside the medical community on such a historic day for our country and for us. Today, many who could make that choice did not go to work. Students walked out of school in solidarity. Protests have filled the streets of cities across this county, pointing to one of our most urgent public health crises, which is the violence of mass deportation and immigration enforcement.
Yes. Yeah.
I am in awe of the solidarity shown here at home. More than 20 local businesses chose to support our organization. With many donating over half of their sales to sustain the integral life-saving work of our community defenders. Our community defenders, you may see them throughout Orange County. Many of them are at the immigration courthouse, legal observing, really the erosion of immigration rights and immigration petitions. You see many of these folks respond to ICE enforcement, and you just see them at the Home Depot hubs, holding autonomous spaces for the jornaleros. But right, it's maybe a couple hundred of us, but we need thousands of you out there doing the same work that we do. And we are providing trainings every week or so to be able to have you join this fight alongside us. But my heart is full of gratitude. Today we have drawn a clear line. We have declared who we are and what we value, and that is the dignity, the rich histories, and the futures of our immigrant and refugee communities. We make this stand at a time when our communities face a mortal danger every single day. Just this week, there is a community member our organization has been working with, a 60-year-old woman with very complex medical issues, who ICE was hoping to re-detain. But it was individuals, including an attorney from Immigrant Defenders, myself, and a couple of other observers that made sure that she was not another number, another person taken into the detention system. Actions make a difference. ICE and the Department of Homeland Security are that mortal danger. We saw it in Minneapolis with the murders of Renee Good and Alex Pretti. Their deaths are a stark warning. These agencies are a threat to anyone who dissents, regardless of race, background, or gender.
We dissent!
The temerity of dissent itself can become a death sentence. So let me be unequivocal. When we say abolish ICE, we mean to get rid of it entirely. Not reform, not train officers better,
not reform,
not replace
get
it
rid
with
of it.
another agency of terror. We must abolish it.
Say it.
Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE!
When we say abolish ICE, it means the people are no longer tired of being persecuted by the very systems that claim to serve us. It is an end to the deceit, the collaboration, the partnerships the local agencies maintain with ICE, even as they deny it. When we say abolish ICE, it means migration will not be criminalized. It means families will never again be separated by any cage, detention center, prison, and jail, because we know that cages always beget more cages.
Pay for those assholes!
When we say abolish ICE, it also means that the clarity we have gained on our streets about state violence, displacement, and the right to a home must bring us closer in our compassion to all struggles for liberation, including that of the Palestinian people. Our fight for justice here is woven into a global fight against oppression everywhere. When we say abolish ICE, it means that our local budgets, our city and county budgets, finally reflect the needs of our communities. Our moral documents. They ask a fundamental question: whose lives are deemed worth investment? We demand an answer that invests in health, in housing, in education, and in care. When we say abolish ICE, that after all of this is over, and I know it will be over.
We will win! No doubt! God will win!
There will be long-standing, transformative policies that center our most vulnerable communities. When we say abolish ICE, it means never again forcing our communities back into the shadows when they need to eat, when they want to feel joy, when they want to simply feel the warmth of the sun. A simple thing that so many of our family and neighbors inside detention centers are reportedly rationed, sometimes just an hour a day. We fight for that sun and we fight for that light. To make room for what must be built, but as we have seen it, can only be built by us. In its absence, we will create something life-affirming, something rooted in care, in community, in growth, in beauty, a system that protects and nurtures rather than incarcerates and destroys. I feel a profound connection to this vision as a legal observer, as a poet, the sister of a veteran, and as someone raised in the vibrant Latino and Cambodian community of Minnie Street here in Santa Ana. I understand the human cost of this machinery of exclusion, and I know the profound beauty of what we are fighting to protect. Our community knows this cost intimately, and tonight we stand together to say no more. No more. No more. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
California State Senator Colonel Tom Umberg.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I came to thank you. I came to thank you for making your voices heard. Making your voices heard for those who are in fear. Those who are afraid to take their children to school. Those who are afraid to take their children to the doctor. You are their voice. We are their voice. Now is the time for all of us to raise our voices. This is an issue that impacts everyone in our country. Everyone in our country. The fact that we have federal agents breaking down doors, shooting people in the face, feeling that they're immune because the president says they're immune from any responsibility or liability.
They also were in trouble for
that will not
sex
stand
trafficking.
in California. That will not stand in California. This week, we debated a bill that said the following. It simply said that you, as a federal officer, purported law enforcement officer, you have the same liability as any state or local law enforcement officer.
No one should be above the law.
Your mask. You can't shoot someone 5 times in the back on the ground without facing responsibility. That we will not stand for that in California. No. That we will lead the way, and we will lead the way from right here in Orange County. People around the country, even people in Sacramento, they think Orange County is the Orange County, the Housewives of Orange County, or the OC. We know different. We know different. Republicans debated the issue. They said we should focus on issues that are important to Californians. This is a national issue that we can't do anything about. I say no. I say we have a responsibility. All of us have a responsibility to do something. To do something about this. This is our time. This is an inflection point for the country. This is an inflection point for California. This is an inflection point for Orange County. We will lead the way.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Zero in 2026. The people that stand behind me are champions, our local champions, our champions in Washington.
What are you going to do, Tom? Say it.
Abolish ICE!
Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Say it! Say it with us! Say it with us! Say it, Tom!
Thank you.
Let me say this.
Say it with us.
Here we are. I, as you can tell, My Spanish is muy malo.
So that doesn't matter.
I do know one thing. Si se puede.
Abolish ICE! Say it! Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Don't be a coward. Oh my God, really? Say it!
I do know one thing. Si se puede.
No. Abolish ICE!
My view is that I've been in law enforcement. I was a federal prosecutor. I worked with ICE. I worked with the ICE that actually worked within the bounds of the law. I worked with the FBI. I worked with all the federal enforcement agencies. And there may come a time when we have to abolish it. But what we need to do is we need to have a different president. We need to have different leadership so we can bring them back to where they were a law enforcement agency that had some integrity. They don't have any integrity at this point in time. But just like the FBI or just like the federal prosecutor. I was a federal prosecutor. There are federal prosecutors now that I think are completely abrogating their responsibility to the rule of law. Doesn't mean that we should get rid of all prosecutors. It means
I
that
think there is a distinction there, though, right?
Yeah.
A federal prosecutor is in charge of prosecuting federal crimes, some severe crimes, whereas the Department of ICE, like we know, it's been around for a quarter of a century, and they've gotten worse and worse. Even under Democratic leadership, the funding seems to keep increasing. Trump just happened to supercharge it because he saw the green light.
There may come a time. But I'm in favor of reform versus abolition at this point. So
I understand that. I would just say that calling for reform, given what we've seen with what happened to Alex Pretti, with what happened to Renee Nicole
Look, here's the thing, is that I don't know how much training those officers had, but 48 days of training, which is what they currently get, is obscene. It's clearly not enough.
The officer who trained or who killed Renee Nicole Good was experienced CBP. I believe he had some military experience as well. I really don't feel it's a training issue. I feel like it is that they have green light to do as much damage.
Well, they do have a green light right now, and that is also obscene. That's not consistent with our Constitution, with the rule of law. That's why I talk about at least California passing legislation that say that they have to be held accountable, if not in federal court, then in state court. Because as you know, federal authorities have basically said you have immunity.
Pardon J6ers. They're not going to worry about.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So that's my point of view. What's your hat say there?
Decolonize the mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your name is?
My name is Fernando. I do a lot of work in the community, talking to people about what the.
Thanks. Where do you live?
I live here in the city.
Santa Ana.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm your senator. So thank you. Thank you for
I
coming
appreciate you
up.
taking the time to at least answer the question.
Sure. Thanks.